The very beginning, at the very beginning, May 29th this year, when President Goodluck Jonathan, was sworn in as president, he promised a lot of things. He set up for himself an agenda for the people of this country. He talked about electricity, how he was going to tackle the problem. He talked about a lot of issues. Security was also one of them. But today, security appears to be the main agenda, or would appear to be the main issue we're all talking about today. So do you think that as we speak today, that President Goodluck Jonathan is having, or not just the president now, the government of President Goodluck Jonathan now is having its agenda now redrawn for it to make security the main issue for it?
Well, the agenda that the president brought out on May 29 really was not something very clear or lucid. But what is clear now today is that Boko Haram, men, and other groups have redefined the agenda. That the main issue, the only issue today, because when you look at, even on October 1, the president was sharing the front page of the newspapers with the men, Boko Haram, and the rest, the three of them, having their spot on the front pages of all the newspapers. So that tells you that something is fundamentally wrong. And no matter how you dress this, something is wrong with this country. But my problem with Mr. President is that the attempts, and his team to pretend as if nothing's wrong, then to now begin to tell us, to try to twist, to tell us tales. You are saying that if you are the commander-in-chief of the country, you are the leader. When a leader is asking where are we going, you are in trouble, because the leader should show the way. Because this kind of moment, the best opportunity for a president to lead his country, to get behind him when he shows the way. But when the president is looking around and says, where are we going? That's a problem. And we have not seen, and okay, he said the leader earlier, I have put up a new strategy, security strategy. Where is it? A day after, we are running into the process to go and do some celebration. So I think that at this point, this concerns all of us. Before we are politicians, we are Nigerians. If a bomb explodes outside here now, it will not say this in CDC, it's in CPC, I don't know if it belongs to any party. Bomb does not discriminate. We are all endangered. We are all under threat. And we need a leadership. Like I was saying, it was saying that time that I think maybe one president says something Pharaoh, maybe don't read it very, very well. There's not only one Pharaoh. It's like Pharaoh is just like presidents. There are many Pharaohs. No. And then you're a student of classics. Just check it. Yes, Pharaoh, that was why the pyramids were built.
That's not where we're going.
Gods. So okay. They are kings. They are kings.
They were gods. They were first of all gods.
So that was what he was telling. But even the most nefarious Pharaoh, I still admire him for one thing, for tenacity. How many plagues did God play through him before he surrendered what he thought was his own? We need a man with such a tenacity who can defend our territory. We need a leader who can build security. So, okay, look today. Look at the IG. The IG of police came out and said the days of Boko Haram are numbered.
And the next day?
Next day, they told him that your days of speaking are numbered. We've not heard from him today. He's still in office. Why? Because that people who help with the elections. So,
no, that won't be
I want you to react. I want you to react to that. You don't think the agenda has been withdrawn for this administration?
No.
I mean, to make security the only agenda now.
No, the transformation agenda of the government is still very much on course. The power sector reform is going on very well. The electoral reform went on very well, and is still an ongoing process. Went on very well. The challenges of elections in court dropped by 50%, first time in Nigerian history. So the transformation agenda of the government is going on very well. So the Boko Haram, men, or whoever terrorist group, they are not distracting. The government is not distracting. It is not distracted from its transformation agenda.
You don't think at the end of the day Nigerians will judge the performance of this administration based on security?
No, of course, in security and other issues. Of course, they are handling the security issues. The point I'm trying to make is that the president and his administration, they are not about playing to the gallery. You see, issues of security, you don't come out in the open. When America wants to, they just killed this guy from Al-Khali from Yemen. A week to that, you didn't know they were going to send drone there. When the day they got Osama bin Laden, they didn't disclose to you that they were coming to kill Osama bin Laden. Right. So the government is not about to just to impress you or impress other political parties or some people. The government is not about to show you their security strategy and plan. You judge them by the results. So the results will come after. When 9/11 happened, the U.S. government, it took them some time before they got into Afghanistan, Pakistan, and across the world. Even the financing systems and structures of these terrorist groups to get a handle over these things. So the government it's the issue of intelligence. It takes time for you to get in and begin. Now it's easy for America to send drone to any part of the world. That's a strategy that was developed over time. The government is not about to disclose their strategy. They will just tell you.
I'm still going to get a final word from you, but you think the agenda has been withdrawn?
The fact that security concerns, security issues continue to dog the public space, public discourse, tells you automatically that is the number one issue on ground in this country. Only people who are alive can invest. And people talk about, you see...
Of course, the president said that much in his speech.
Exactly. So there is no doubt that agenda has been set for the president. But again, Nigerians are not going to allow the president get away with the fact that any excuse can be made, for instance, on why there was a failure in the power sector, why there was a failure in other sectors of the Nigerian economy. Obama, for instance, in spite of the fact that the most wanted criminal in history, for instance, was killed some time ago, and Al-Laki was killed recently. Obama is also going to be judged not just on the security imperative of America, but on other issues. So the president has no hiding place. He has been elected to perform in a particular manner. And so when we talk about somebody being a pharaoh or somebody being, it's absolutely irrelevant. The Constitution has clearly spelled out the role of Mr. President. And the Constitution also envisages a president that is strong, a president that is on top of the situation, a president that knows what it means to govern. You know, and you see, my worry with Mr. President is that during his declaration, he raised up his hand at a time, and I've had cause to talk about it several times, and said he does not have any enemies. And I felt that was not the right kind of statement that the Mr. President should be making. Because yes, you do not have enemies, but the country has enemies. The enemies of this country are those people who will not allow us to celebrate our 51st birthday anniversary the way we should, because every other sector of the Nigerian economy has run down and the people have been dehumanized. So these are the enemies. So once you come into government, you inherit both the assets and liability of a country. The assets of the country become yours, part of you, and then the enemies, you also inherit the enemies that the country have. And we have all of these enemies, and these enemies, you see them today in the corridors of power all over the country.
All right. Because of time, let me get a final word from you, just some few seconds.
Well, I think the president is looking at power without the responsibility of the office. And I think the more it begins to look at the responsibility of that office, rather than the glamour, the president of Nigeria, there is a responsibility on his shoulder today. Nigerians cannot sleep with their eyes closed. They are sleeping with their eyes open. If they hear the exhaust of a vehicle now, they think it's a bomb. The culture of fear is pervading the country, and he needs to show that the situation is not on top of him. As at the moment, the situation is on top of the president, and he must get on top of the situation.
I want a final word from you, a few seconds.
Okay, basically, he's a man that believes in results. His results will speak. His results will speak. Like in power, are you
a spokesperson of the president anyway?
Well, I'm a supporter of him.
All right.
In power, we are enjoying 4,500 megawatts. That's the highest we've seen in the last 25 years. So,
nope. Don't say that here.
I'm telling you.
Years. No.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Nigerians.
I can prove it. I can prove
it. All right. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program.
So the results will speak for him.
Yeah, thank you very much. Even the president, too, said something like that. He said, watch me.
Yeah.
You remember when he had that media chat?
Yes.
He said, well, I've promised Nigerians that I'll do this, so watch me. Well, we're all watching.
That's the man that inherited 50 years of problems. So
he has getting more in 1 year.
Don't worry, he's going to resolve it.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program. Achikechude, thank you very much for your time. Mr. Inka Odumaki, thank you very much. Paul Obano, thank you very much for your time. You're still planning to go into politics, to run again?
It's an ongoing process.
You ran in the last election, you lost. You're planning to run again?
Maybe PDP the next one.
It's an ongoing process. We are seeing that. 2015 is still very far.
In PDP.
He was in CDC, not in PDP.
He's got to PDP the next one.
2015 is still very far.
Was CDC an affiliate of PDP in the last election?
It was an ally of PDP.
All right, thank you all for coming on. Well, that's it on the program tonight. We want to thank you very much for watching. I am Deji Badimasi. We're back again next week. Good night.